All right, so Acura unleashed or unveiled the 2024 Integra Type S last week at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. And I think it's fair to say it's kind of a hit. So right now I want to ask you guys, what would you choose? The Civic Type R, if both were available right now, the Civic Type R or the Integra Type S, leave a comment down below. If just the launch video shows anything, it is a very attractive car. I would preference probably just because of the nostalgia of the championship white. I do like the white car, but the gold is very, very attractive. Now, along with this Type S model line, actually there is an anime series called Chaki's Journey and follows kind of like the Type S progression. Season 1 was for the NSX Type S when that was released, and then they actually have season 2 now for the Integra Type S. It's really cool, and I think the animation is very, very well done. Honestly, it's spectacular. There's every video I've seen of it, the comments are full of people going, this should be a show on Netflix. This needs to be a full-blown show. It deserves to be its own anime. So go check that out if you haven't. I think it's an awesome marketing tool for Acura. And not only that, it's a great standalone story, which is pretty cool to begin with. So right now, what do we know about this very, very hot car? Well, one of the things that we know is that it's based pretty clearly on the current Honda Civic Type R. It's going to have the same 2-liter turbocharged engine. It's probably going to have the same 6-speed manual gearbox. We do know that it's going to have 19-inch wheels. We know that it's going to have the same triple exit exhaust, which is going to have a normal and a sport mode. Those are pretty much all givens. Let's talk specifics about the Integra. The Type S is going to have specific sheet metal from the A-pillars forward. The A-pillars are the front where the windshield is mounted. It's going to have its own hood, its own fenders, its own bumper, all specific to the Type S. And on top of the fenders, it's going to have actual fender flares because it needs to accommodate the wider track. Not only are they giving this thing 19-inch wheels, they're also widening the stance for grip because of the increased power. This thing is going to have 320 horsepower. That's right, it's going to have 5 more horsepower than the Civic Type R currently produces. They'll both produce 310 foot-pounds of torque. I don't think that the 5 horsepower is meant to be a flex over the Type R. What I do think it is that by going to the full 320, whatever they had to do, whether it was a reflash, any mechanical changes to the engine to get the 5 horsepower, what that means is that it allows Acura to boast 160 horsepower per liter out of that 2-liter turbocharged engine. That's an important number. A per liter horsepower is very, very big when it comes to showing specific output, what your engine is actually capable of. What else do we know about it? We know that it's going to have a wider rear track as well. Again, 19-inch wheels, and it's going to be almost 2 inches wider in the back to accommodate the larger rubber. This thing is going to be a very well handling machine from what they are depicting. Now let's talk performance. We know that the Civic Type R has a top speed of 170 miles per hour. We know that many magazines have tested it and it is going to accelerate 0 to 60 in the 5-second range. If it wasn't for a weird limitation that Honda has that prevents you from revving the car beyond 3,400 RPM when it's at a stop. Now, if the Integra Type S were to be launched without that speed governor, it could potentially dip into the 4s in terms of 0 to 60 time. But I guess it's going to probably have the same day-to-day acceleration, and it's probably going to have the same limitations in terms of top speed. Maybe they gear it differently to do 175. Who knows? Let's talk price. Right now, you can go online and you'll see a ton of cars listed as MSRP, which usually means you have to call the dealership to find out the actual price. They're going to be listed at MSRP at around $45,000. Now, if you take a comparable Civic model, which is the SI, compared to the Integra A-Spec, they tend to be about 10% apart. So I think the SI is about $30,000. The Integra is about 33, 34, depending on options and trim level. So let's say that it's about 10% over. Well, on that basis, if we extrapolate that out to the performance models, the Type R is 45,000. Let's say 10% more, round it up to 5,000. You're looking at 50K for the Type S. I don't think there are going to be many Type S's available on launch for $50,000. My guess is they're probably going to be subject to a pretty hefty markup simply because it's a new vehicle, it's a hot vehicle, and there's more than likely a line of people behind you if you're the one trying to buy it. I would not be surprised if I saw the markups like I've seen on some of the Civic Type Rs, where I'm seeing them in the range of 65, 70. So you could expect that maybe with an Integra Type S, maybe the mid to high 70s, maybe higher if you end up being the person who's buying it from a flipper. Depending, I don't know if Acura is going to do something in terms of that. In terms of interior, when it comes to racy models, it does look like they're giving the Integra Type S a little bit of a sport treatment, but it's not going to be as austere as the Civic Type R with the just black interior with red seats. It does look like it's a little bit more kind of AMG, more luxurious, less boy racer, which again is what I think the Integra is meant to be. There are people who probably go, the Civic Type R looks great. I love the championship white, the black interior, and the red seats. It's not for me. So I think the best correlation between the Integra Type S and the Civic Type R, when I did my review of the Toyota Venza, which is based on the RAV4, you can actually check out the review up here and check out the RAV4 review also. But what I compared the Venza to was basically it was a RAV4 in a dinner jacket because it was based on the same platform, same engine choices, not the same interior, but in the same sense that the RAV4 interior was different from the Venza, the Type R Civic or the Civic and the Integra have similar but different interiors, seat choice, materials, layout. So to that, I kind of say that the Integra is a much better implementation of everything that the Civic offers. So this may be an opportunity for people who may have said the Type R is not really for me. I like what it is. I'm just not the kind of person to buy it. This is where Honda picks them up and they can actually pick up the Integra Type S. So I think it's a good thing to end this with the question I said at the very beginning. If you were right now going to buy one of these two and you had the choice between the Integra Type S and the Civic Type R, you could have either one right now. Which one would you choose? Why? And you know what? Go ahead and throw a color combo down there in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming future videos. I'm Alfred for Crooked Mustache. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Dale.